Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Chris. I've got a fun video planned for today. About 3 months ago, I asked everybody here and on Instagram what were your most loved and what were your most hated perfumes. And I've got a really fun list of most loved and most hated. So I compiled a list of the fragrances that did have the most votes. So if you didn't get a chance or you forgot to vote, let me know your 5 most loved fragrances down below. And with that, I'm gonna get started. Now, maybe no surprise that there are going to be some overlaps between most loved and most hated. In other words, several of these fragrances made both lists. I'm gonna start the list with, one of the most popular ones. It's a fragrance that I show all the time here on my channel, Babycat. I'm a big, this smells so good, and it's like 0 degrees today and like 6 inches of snow on the ground. And this is exactly when I want to wear a Babycat. It's very warm, it's very cozy, it's spicy, it's sweet, it's vanillic, it has incense, suede, spices. It's absolutely beautiful and definitely a masterpiece. And I can see why so many people love it like I do. A fragrance that got a lot of votes and is an impression of Babycat is Rifaaqat. I purchased this right when this came out. I think this is a fantastic impression of Babycat. Are they one-to-one? No, particularly in the opening. They're pretty different in the opening. This one lacks a lot of those spices in the beginning that Babycat opens with, like the peppers, but in the dry down is where they become, most similar. So very, very good impression of Babycat and significantly more affordable. Let's see. One fragrance that was a shocker to me, just because the OG is very, very polarizing, but if you are a follower of mine, I love this fragrance. I showed it a lot in the summertime. This is Chanel No. 5 L'Eau. This smells much more similar to Chanel No. 5 Eau Première, which I'm on my 3rd bottle. It's a very, very lovely fragrance. It's, those classic Chanel floral, jasmine rose, ylang ylang. You have the aldehydes, but the aldehydes in that one aren't as strong as the original. Chanel No. 5 L'Eau is a flanker of Chanel No. 5 Eau Première. It smells much more similar to that one than the original Chanel No. 5. This one, Chanel No. 5 L'Eau, means water. This is a watered down version of Eau Première, which a lot of people still may not like because it does have aldehydes. It has this soapiness, it's floral, it's fresh, it's a little bit sweet. This one is much more watered down. I adore it. I think this is terrific. It's more fresh, it's more clean, it's not as powdery, and I think this is a fantastic take on that DNA for the warmer months. And this one got a lot of love, and I can see why. Now, the other Chanel that got a lot of love was this one right here, one of my newer pickups from this year, Comète. I tell you what, this one went from a light to a love, and I don't know if, when I got it, it was super, super hot, and I didn't wait to spray it like I should have. It was like 96 degrees, and I was like, I don't think I like this one. It almost had like a baby wipe quality to it. I let it sit for several weeks and came back to it, and man, it went from a light to a love. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. It's a purple flower type of a fragrance. It has a lot of heliotrope. It's very powdery. Heliotrope can be almondy and it can be powdery, and I get both of those facets in this fragrance. It almost borders on a gourmand. I get like an almond cream in here. Sweet, but not too sweet. It has a lovely muskiness to it. It has a cleanliness to it. It's clean, but it's not screechy and overly soapy. So I can't remember if this has aldehydes in it or not. I wouldn't be surprised if it has a little bit, because it does have that Chanel, clean, slightly aldehydic DNA, but certainly not as loud as some of the other Chanel fragrances. This is really, really pretty. It's very calming. It's very soft. I love to wear it in the evening or when I want to channel kind of like a sweet, more angelic type of a vibe. Speaking of angelic vibes, is a fragrance that I have loved since it released. I love this perfume. I got it because of the steamed rice accord. I've noticed that it is getting some love on other social media. Now it's picking up some steam, and I can see why. It's Le Papier. This, in many, many ways, Gosh, this is so me in a bottle. This could definitely be my signature scent. It's beautiful. It has that musky quality. It's slightly floral. I want to say it has mimosa. Mimosa to me smells a little bit yellow, powdery, and sweet, almost like it has a honeyed nuance. And again, you know, I bought it for that steamed rice accord. I bought it blindly right when it came out. I looked at the notes and I thought, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to love it. And of course, I love it. That steamed rice accord does smell like hot steamed rice. It doesn't last as long. I wish it lasted a little bit longer, but I think it's beautiful. It's strongest in the opening. A very soft, you know, woody base. I think I've worn this for Easter 2 years in a row. Perfect for springtime. Very ethereal, very lovely. And I can see why it's become so popular. Okay, a fragrance that a lot of you guys love, and frankly, I don't wear this a lot because it's almost too sweet for me. And when I have worn it, let me tell you, I've gotten so many compliments. And this one is Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar by Kayali. You guys love this perfume. This one got tons and tons of votes. This to me smells like, you know, you took 3 perfumes and you made it into one. I'm blanking on the name. Le Belle by Jean-Paul Gaultier, Vanilla 28 by Kayali, and Silk Santal. Then if you added like a bubblegum liquor, that's what I get with Vanilla Candy Rock Sugar. People have smelled this on me and purchased it like the next day, friends and coworkers, when I've worn it. And I think it's a lot of fun. It is not my favorite Kayali. I enjoy it a tremendous amount. I mean, as you can see by the dent, I will say my daughter has worn it a couple times. She really loves this one, but I still like it. It's a strong like, not a love. I have to be in the mood because it's really, really sweet. But a fun fragrance, and I can see why it got a lot of love. What else do I have in here? This one got a lot of love. Sirene by Fragrance du Bois. Beautiful, one of my favorite cherry fragrances. I love cherry fragrances. I have a ton of them. I have yet to do a cherry dedicated review, which shocks me because, I mean, I have a ton of cherry fragrances. This is beautiful. It's woody, it's creamy, it's milky, it's sweet. That it still has that sweet maraschino liqueur cherry, but it has a lot of like milky undertones. I don't think it has milk per se. I think it's like a molecular milky note. I'd get a lot of milkiness from this fragrance. It has some spices, some incense in the background. It's very ambery, it's sweet, and it does have oud. I personally do not get a skanky oud. I just get a warm, ambery woodiness in the dry down. Do I love this perfume? And I love to wear it during this time of the year. Let's see. Okay. One that you guys love a lot is Guidance 46. I did not love the original Guidance. I don't love it. And sometimes I don't even like it. But I went ahead and bought 9 ml decants of both. This is 46. I'm never going to spend the money on either of them because I really don't care for Guidance. I really don't like the opening at all. I only like the dry down, particularly on paper. It smells really good on paper and it lasts forever. So I do enjoy Guidance 46. It's so much better, in my opinion. There are a lot of similarities, but some of the things that I really didn't like about Guidance, that horrible opening that had, I mean, I just thought it was just so discombobulated. The notes just did not go together. I want to say it's pear and some nuts and incense. But this one is just not as loud. It doesn't give me a headache. It's very, very pretty. I still will never buy a full bottle. The prices are just outrageous. For me to buy a bottle in that price range, it literally has to blow me away, and it has to be a love. It has to be a lifer fragrance. So, you know, if you're really on a limited budget and you just do not have the funds to buy a full bottle, you don't need to. There's no shame in getting decants. Listen, with the size of my collection, I'm never gonna go through a full bottle of something I just mildly like. And so, you know, every once in a while, I wanna, you know, maybe I wanna spray Guidance 46. A 9 ml decant is perfect, and it's going to still last me forever because I don't use it that much at all. I've only worn it a couple times, but you guys love it. and love it so much more than the original, and I must agree. Okay, 2 fragrances from Parfums de Marly got a lot of love, but one of them also made the most hated list. If you can, why don't you take your guess down below? Let me know down below if you can guess which one it is. The one that was on the love list that did not make the hate list is this beautiful fragrance Valaya. I absolutely love it, and I haven't got my nose on the Valaya exclusive, and I will. But, you know, I don't wear this one as much as I want to. I spent a lot of money on this perfume, and I'm very, very reluctant to get something that's very, very similar, that's very, very expensive. I will definitely get a decant, and if it blows my mind, and I think I'll be wearing it a lot, then I would consider getting a bottle. But I just love this perfume. It's so pretty. It's beautiful and musky and tart and floral. There's a lot of molecular notes in here. And I want to say molecular florals and molecular fruits. I get this tart peachiness, like a peach apricot. I get lily of the valley. I get orange blossom. There might be a little bit of jasmine in here, some beautiful soft woods, but this is all about that gauzy musk. This musk lasts forever, and I think this would be a terrific bridal scent because it's lovely, it's ethereal, it's angelic, and this sucker lasts forever, especially if you spray it on your clothes. It lasts such a long time, and it can be a signature scent. I need to wear it more. The one Parfums, and there was only one, Parfums de Marly, that made the love and the most hated list is the original Delina, the one I wear the least. I am Team Delina exclusive. The original has that little bit of the rhubarb that just gives me a little bit of a headache. It gives me a headache in the beginning. The dry down is very pretty, and I will say one of the most complimented fragrances. There isn't a time where I don't wear this one or Delina exclusive and I don't get a compliment. Delina exclusive did not make the list, but I am a big fan of that perfume, as you know, if you've been following me. And the original Delina is a masterpiece. There's no doubt about it. Very iconic masterpiece. There was nothing like it at the time. You know, the rose, lychee, rhubarb. It's just a very, very pretty perfume. I need to wear it more, but you know what? I'm thinking about giving this to my daughter as a special little treat. Who knows? Every time I think about decluttering it, I wear it and I say, nah, I don't want to get rid of it. Kind of in the same family, this one got the most love, or one of the highest rated ones, is a perfume I talk about all the time. Another fragrance that's in that Delina family. I always say this is Atomic Rose. I always say this is Delina's sexier older sister with a red lip. So this does not have the rhubarb. This has a lot of pepper in the beginning. And if you only smell it for the first, you only sample it for the first couple minutes, that pepper might scare you away. But this is one of those fragrances where the beauty is in the dry down. This has the most stunning dry down. Of course, it's rose. It's that beautiful ambery rose vanilla, but the dry down is just so beautiful. After the peppery opening, this has no harsh edges. And the dry down is just that vanillic rose amber scent that is so addictive. When I spray this on myself, I probably look like a weirdo. I'm constantly smelling my arm or wherever I sprayed it, just like, oh, I can't get enough. Absolutely beautiful. One of my favorite rose fragrances of all time. And I guess one of you guys' favorite rose fragrances of all time. This one is a gourmand masterpiece. I don't have many gourmand masterpieces, but this one is definitely one of them. It is Gourmand Coquine, which is basically Féve Gourmand. They're the same. They're the same fragrance. It's just been renamed. I don't know why. I put mine came in a bee bottle with a stop cap, and so I put mine in an atomizer because that's how I like to spray my fragrances. But to me, this is really kind of like the holy grail of chocolate gourmand fragrances. This is it. This is the benchmark. This is 10 out of 10. Absolute masterpiece. So it's chocolatey without being too sweet. It's boozy without being, overly liquorish. Is that a word? There's a little bit of rose in the background. To me, it's like a boozy hot cocoa that you got at the fanciest Parisian little cafe. And there was a little dusting of cacao on the top. and there was a little rose, you know, in the background. You know, maybe like you have a rose sitting there at the table. It's just stunning. This is so, so perfect, and I can see why many of you out there loved it as well. I have my list here. So, oh, there's one fragrance that you guys loved that I don't have, and it's Soie Malaquais by Dries Van Noten. I have several in that line, and that one to me was always a strong like, but not quite a love. And I went through the discovery set and I thought, do I really need this? I don't think so. And the more I think about it, the more I go back to it, the more I really want to add that fragrance in my collection, and currently it is sold out. So I think it's a very, very popular fragrance. It's a very hard fragrance to hate. It's very unique. It has rose, and another one that has hazelnut. It has like a satin or a silk accord. It's creamy, it's powdery, it's soft, it's light. You know, it has that creamy, nutty thing going on, but it's not overly nutty. I can't do a super, super nutty fragrance that's all it is, and it's dry. I like it smooth and creamy and, you know, blended with other notes. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance, has a lovely black currant, and I do think that it, you know, definitely could be maybe not a masterpiece in my opinion, but super, super, super unique and a beautiful fragrance. And I know a lot of you love it because it made the list. And again, it's sold out. So when it comes back into stock, I think I will add that to my collection. Okay, 2 fragrances I had to get out of the hate box because they also made the love box. One is, I don't know why. I mean, yes, fragrances that are beautiful and particularly that are milky can be polarizing. I mean, which fragrance isn't polarizing? If it's not polarizing, it's probably considered to be boring. Although I do like boring perfumes. Blanche Bête. This one made the love and the hate list. I personally love it. It's one of my favorite tuberose fragrances. This makes my mouth water. It's like tuberose and coconut and a little dusting of cacao. It's very milky. It's very creamy. It has a teensy bit of, a little bit of incense in the background. A beautiful ambrette, so this warm, cozy musk. I think it's a 10 out of 10, but again, you know, lactonic fragrances are some of the most polarizing, particularly when you toss in a white floral. Not everybody loves florals. Yeah, the other one that made both lists, the other one was Bianco Latte, and I've had a lot of people comment like, please don't talk about Bianco Latte anymore. I don't have Bianco Latte. I decluttered Bianco Latte. I liked a lot of it. You know, it was milky, it was creamy, it was sweet, caramel, I want to say honey, but that tonka note to me came across as very grassy and green. I just know when you have a perfume and you love a lot of it, but there's just that little portion that ruins it for you. In the end, that's what ruined it for me. I went ahead and bought Eclair, showed it many, many times just to see how they compared. I do think this, to me, is one of the very few circumstances where the Middle Eastern or Arabian version I prefer more, just because it didn't have that green grassiness, that minty green grassiness. That I like minty, and green and grassy isn't always a no-no for me, but when it's mixed with milk and cream and vanilla and honey, they just kind of clashed a little bit. And it did have that little bit of a plasticky doll hug thing. This is a little bit plasticky, but not so much like Bianco Latte. And if you love Bianco Latte because it's super, super loud and strong, this one isn't as loud as strong. And again, I just don't pull for it. I think it's a fantastic alternative to Bianco Latte. I'm going to declutter this or give it to my daughter because this is not something I want to pull for. Okay, the last one that I have on the list is Casa Blanca by Beau. And they're very, very expensive. I bought every single little travel size, and I think it's a fantastic way to either sample or enjoy the fragrances in that line. I want to say, I think I got mine at Twisted Lily. I can't remember. By the time I edit this video, I will know where I got them. And, you know, they're very, very affordable. And if you buy them on the House of Beau website, they come in you can pick out a trio. You can get 3 for like $100. Anyways, Casa Blanca got a lot of love. This one is a good perfume. It's not my favorite. I guess you guys know what my favorite is. My favorite right now is Espiritu. Oh my gosh, that one is so me in a bottle. Beautiful. I think it's an underrated gem, but this one's good too. It's figgy. So To me, it's like a sticky fig tea with tobacco and amber. I think this is the one that has mineral notes. I have to be honest with you, I don't really get the mineral notes, or if I'm getting it, I'm not interpreting them as minerally, because with mineral notes, you know, they almost smell very artificial and marine-like. I just don't think I get those mineral notes, or they're just blended so much, or they're just blended with the other notes. I definitely get that sticky fig tea. I get tobacco. I get amber, and a woodiness in the dry down. It's beautiful. I personally think this is very unisex. And their newest one, Ave Maria, it is on my way to me, so I can't wait to smell that. The notes sound right up my alley, and I will give you a review as soon as it is in my hot little hands. And let me check my box. Yeah, I think that's it. According to the feedback, these are your favorite fragrances. Again, if you disagree with what I showed today, or if I didn't include your favorites, vote in the next one. Thanks again for sticking around. Thanks for watching. If you have any content you'd like me to do, let me know down below. And with that, I'm going to film